Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Happy New Year! Tatsuya Imai is a Houston Astros. Cold stove's out! Welcome to the new year, babe. Let's talk ball. Kodai Senga.
Max Muncy of the A's.
Hard ground out. Hard ground out. Look at that A's lineup. Hello and welcome to 2026. What? The simulation is broken, and you know if you're going to be in a broken sim, you might as well be with Coach Trevor Plouffe out on the West Coast. I am Jake Storielli out on the East Coast. Rob Sirocco is producing live from a submarine, we think. We're dealing with some interesting technology, so we said, screw it. Let's do it live. And Trev, we didn't have to even do this for the people, but we needed to.
I was sitting at home drinking a cortado, which I learned what that was last night. It's essentially just espresso with some milk, okay? Nothing too fancy. And, yeah, we see the Tatsuya Imai deal, and we say, you know what? It's been a while since we've been on the sticks. Let's get together. Let's party. Let's talk about it. I get to see your new apartment. This is all good, man. I'm excited to talk ball with you, though. I saw your video on Instagram. I almost commented, do you ever shut up? But then I stopped myself because It's a new year. I'm going to be nice.
That's
all
huge.
Year long.
The Imai video? You were just going to be rude on that?
Yeah, it was like right away. I was like, do you ever shut up? And I deleted it.
Leave that energy in 25, pal. Happy New Year, everyone. Glad to be back. We were hoping to kind of be back sooner, but, man, it has been all quiet on the Western Front, and that's why we head out east. That was kind of nice, right? Although we're not, because Imai signs with Houston. But, yeah, I guess we should do that because that's the actual news. And then we can just do the current status because I don't know, dude. There's so much that has to happen. Like January 2026 is here. Soon it's going to be February. We're going to be looking at spring training, and so many dudes have to sign that it's a weird offseason, bro.
I always get such a weird feeling when the calendar flips because I'm enjoying myself being around family. You know, we work hard during the season, so the off season is like a welcome, retreat for us. But as soon as the calendar flips, I feel like spring training is here already, essentially. Yes. TPPs are coming up, and then it's back to the grind. So I'm actually feeling a little uneasy today about everything. But at the same time, I love it, Pop. I'm a sicko. I'm a sicko for all stuff. And honestly, this is such a fun landing spot for Tatsuya Imai. Like, I love when the Astros are involved. It felt like they were never involved at all last year. Their postseason streak, gone. ALCS, never. It's gone. But I feel like this one pitching signing plus a healthy Jordan and some other stuff, I think it brings them back into the fold, which I think is great for baseball.
Yeah, I want to do all of it because, man, when you bring up that Houston roster resource page, it's kind of like, what is this? There's a lot of good, but it's also it feels like a trade or a big move away, and maybe that's coming, maybe it's not. But what did happen is Tatsuya Imai, I think his posting window ended tomorrow, so they get it done at the deadline. And the details we have, it's 3 years with opt-outs each year. And I think it's around $18 million a year with some potential escalators if he stays the 3 years. If you have more than that, I guess chime in. That's what I'm currently dealing with.
I'm looking at John Heyman saying he can earn up to $3 million per year in incentives by reaching 100 innings.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's done.
So I think it'll end up being that'll be another 9 on top, so 63. If he does it all, okay.
Yeah, that was the number I saw.
But here's the thing, like you alluded to earlier on, like if this guy goes out and balls the first season, I mean, he can opt out instead of getting 21 a year, can probably get 26, 27 a year.
Well, that's the other thing with this is it's.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
do
it.
That.
No, I've decided I'm gonna continue 6-7, but I'm just gonna use it for every number that's side by side. Like when someone's like, "Yeah, I don't know, I had 4 or 5 beers," just do the hand thing. Like I think we can continue that tastefully as a society. Yes, Trev.
Please don't.
Okay. Interesting. So when I saw the first tweet that was the second highest AAV for a Japanese pitcher, I was like, damn, because Yamamoto's the guy, and that's the biggest pitching contract we've ever seen. Um, that I was like, okay, we're talking big boy stuff here. I was a little surprised to see that 18 with the escalators because as far as starting pitching money goes, it's not crazy. Like I remember, some of the banged up pitchers when they were hitting free agency were getting around that 20 million, 15 million. So, it is interesting, and I feel like sometimes we go corny, like win-win, good for the player, good for the team. I love this. This kind of feels like this. It feels like Houston's taking very little risk for a guy that has, the numbers he put up over there and supposedly the stuff, like the off-speed stuff is supposed to be there. The fastball velo-wise is supposed to be in the ballpark. That sits 95. That, I don't know, if you don't like the shape, we could change that in one practice. So, and I mean, first time through the league seeing anyone that throws a funky breaking ball and a different pitching style. Nobody hits them. So, like, for Houston, this feels like the biggest win. And Imai, like we just said, these player opt-out deals that are becoming more and more popular, if he hits it right in 3 seasons, he's going to get a crazy payday.
Yeah, this is one of those deals, and we say this a lot too, like, your team could have done this deal. Like, literally any team could have done this deal. It's not a ton of exposure because it's a shorter contract. Again, you mentioned the AAV is not outrageous, especially for a guy that has the potential. So like the risk reward, I think, is highly favorable to Houston. There's no doubt about it. And I understand, the opt-out's great for him too. But if you look at this from a organizational standpoint, where we're like every team needs a starting pitching. And Houston definitely needed it. So I was their pitch just better than everybody else's? Because I have to imagine, Jake, that there were other teams willing to hand out this contract, this money, these years. Like I believe, right? There's no way that Houston was top dollar here. Is it the Texas thing, no state taxes? Is it, he came out and said, I don't want to pitch for the Dodgers. And I'll tell you what, biggest rivalry for the Dodgers right now, like I get the Giants are still there, and I know the Padres are lurking, but like the Astros, when they come into town, that's the largest booze you're going to get in L.A. Was that a factor? Like I'm very, very – and Houston is very international, which I don't think a lot of people know. Didn't you live in Houston? Or you were Dallas?
No, I lived in Dallas, yes.
Houston is like an international spot. So, like, does that have something to do with it? I'm very curious, and I don't know if we'll ever get the reasoning, like, hey, this is exactly why I picked. We'll probably get some sort of cliche – I believed in the organization. They sold me, that they were going to be competitive this year, which honestly can be true. I talked about it earlier. Like they didn't have Yordan Alvarez last year in their lineup.
Right.
Christian Walker had a down year. Like he could get better. Like there's a lot of things to like. So you bring this guy in, probably going to slot in the 2 spot because Hunter Brown's so damn good. But you have now, maybe possibly a 2-headed dragon at the top of the rotation. They're going to have to figure out kind of the back end. What's that look for?
The 2 dragon scene in Starsky and Hutch. Is that Starsky and Hutch? Yeah, I mean it's an all-time. It's an all-time.
More of like
scene.
Lord of the Rings universe, but
right. No, it's Will Ferrell, Owen Wilson. It's an amazing scene. So that's why I flinched.
I was
when you
being
said 2
serious.
dragons.
Okay.
I know. I'm sorry. That's on me.
I was ripping right there.
You were great.
Here's the thing. Okay, look. Last year, the offense wasn't great, streaky. Isaac Paredes had a great year last year. Jeremy Pena had a great year last year. Altuve, I would say, a down year offensively. What's he going to bring to the mix? They had him in left field for a little bit. That's I don't
crazy.
Yordan comes back. Christian Walker has a better year. Like Yainer Diaz is still doing his thing. Like they have potential on the offensive side. They have a great back end of the bullpen, and now you add the top of the line starter potentially. And I think you're just right back in the mix of everything. I think you have a chance easily go. I mean, they missed the playoffs by a half a game last year?
Ooh.
Didn't they lose the tiebreaker? Am I crazy?
Good memory check here. Houston finished with 87 wins. They were
Detroit
3
got
back
in
at
with, Detroit got in with 87.
Yes, that's right. That whole everyone just limping down the stretch. Wow.
So even with like a no Jordan, they just barely missed the playoffs. I'm fully in. This could be another team to take advantage of when it comes to our TPP over-unders. I'm curious to see what their number comes out as, but I'll be hitting the over on it, I'm pretty sure.
And like we say with every team still, because there are big free agents out there, and I think because there's still big free agents out there, I feel like the trade market hasn't gone. So like Trev, we might have to like work coming up, which again, sometimes that's our specialty, sometimes it's not. Been a couple nice weeks, like if we're being real.
I missed it, dude. Too many kids running around this damn house.
Hey, let's be honest. There's a reason we hopped on the mics. It's fucking a little cursed. It's New Year's Day. you, me, and Bob in the group chat were like, "Fire me up." Didn't hear from Dalt. Is he probably riding it out right now? He's probably at one of these college football playoff games or something.
Yeah, I mean it's us versus Oregon and Texas Tech right now. Who's gonna win? Us.
Rivalry. It's us. It's us. I guess I want to close off the Imai loop just because the Houston part of this is really fun. Like, dude, Correa is back in Houston.
I forgot that he was
just happened
there.
last year. I know. Like, that's real. Like, the amount of right-handed hitters they have that are really good. I'll say this. They have more better right-handed hitters than any other team. Make that a graphic, socials team. Get off your butts. New Year's is done. But, A, they don't have, like, lefties outside of one of the best lefty hitters ever. And now the rotation is just super interesting. But Imai, and again, sometimes we forget because we're so in the weeds. If you don't know, like, Imai was the dude last year. He hit a 1.92 ERA, more strikeouts than innings pitched the last couple seasons. He's 27 years old. He turns 28 in May. So that's where the formula here is really interesting because I don't know. He kind of has the profile, I guess, honestly, second to Yamamoto coming over, and that's what the money AAV-wise would tell you. But with the years involved, the contract stuff is interesting, Trev, because did every other team offer this, or did he go to Houston because they offered the opt-outs? Like, was he getting 4 or 5 year offers from teams at a similar number but without the opt-outs? Because how did this happen? And, you know, I like to quote one of my favorite poets, you know, more poetry in 2026. Joe's McFly, he posted on social media, and he said, doing a selfie video, he goes, if you're wondering why the Yankees haven't done this, that's a good thing to be wondering. Because the price for a starting pitcher that, again, like, the risk of a lot of these pitchers coming over seems to be a lot lower than it used to be, that from what we've seen from Imai. And then the interesting thing is, how do we still view Houston? Because, Trev, that was kind of wild what you just did. Like, they had the injury bug last year, and they missed the playoffs by a day. Like, how differently would we be speaking about Houston that now, like, if they brought in Imai 2 years ago, we would be like, he would be in our Cy Young draft.
I just looked up the population of Japanese people in Houston.
Okay.
Not a lot. 3,000.
Okay.
I was like, I was wondering, you know.
Sure.
Scott Boras is his agent, I believe. I think I'm right on that. So I wonder. I would love to be behind the scenes. What was the decision? Like, what made him go there? I'm not saying it's a bad decision whatsoever. In fact, I certainly like it. But you know, when you are a free agent, you have options. Usually, I'm assuming he did as well, and then you have to make a decision. Why? I want to know. I want to know like the real why here. It's kind of fascinating to me.
And that is going to be the fun kind of follow-up part of this, is everything leaking out, because I think the Cubs were rumored. You know, again, every team needs starting pitching, and we always, you know, business guys. Although, did you see what happened to my silver stock?
Silver's going nuts.
No, dude.
Oh, it went
shot
down?
the other way. Yes.
Within
disaster.
Like the last day of the year, it just went down?
Yes.
Oh, no,
literally,
gosh.
yes. I know. So we are reeling. And that's going to be, I guess that's going to be the interesting part. Did anyone get just turned down? Like, did teams offer more money? or was it all in the same ballpark? Like, I don't want to start throwing the C word out there to start the new year, but remember that day when there was three pitchers that all signed for $11 million? Like, was Amai getting the same contract offer from four teams, and he did go to the state with no income tax or the opt outs that I'm very interested to see the follow-up process because that could be a very interesting. If he has a 2.5 ERA at midseason, and you're like, wait, anyone could have got this cat, especially, and maybe this isn't fair, but like the first time through with Tatsuya Imai, like, hey, maybe he takes a couple. We always hear the baseball is a little different, or even Yamamoto, his first start, which was overseas, ironically, that was bad. Everything else was amazing. So like dude, Imanaga was supposed to be like, I don't know if he's gonna be a 4-5 starter. He's shoved for a year and a half. So like I mean, I guess let me know if I'm wrong, but Amai feels more highly touted than Imanaga at least.
Yeah, I think the age, the strikeout numbers, everything like that. The ball is larger, just a little bit bigger in the States, not
America.
tackified in America.
In America.
So, the arsenal is fastball, slider, two best pitches. He throws a changeup and a splitter as well. I think that affects the splitter maybe more than anything, I'd assume. Maybe we'll have to ask our guy Trevor May about that. He's been on some internet battles as of late. Jeez.
I love him on the internet. He's great. We'll do a T2 day.
I like him. Yeah, me too. But again, we pointed this out a ton. Like a pitcher coming over is so much easier to project than a hitter because you have all the metrics, you have all the data, pitch shape. Okay, like this is gonna work. He has the velo to get it done. All these teams that needed pitching. We talked about like the Mets being involved with like the Reds. Trying to get some of their pitching. Like, were the Mets not involved in this? The Padres need starting pitching. Were the Padres not involved in this? This guy feels like he could have been a giant to me. Like, were they not involved in this? So, I don't know if we'll ever get that answer, Coach. And I don't necessarily think we need it because I think Houston's a great fit for him. And it got me fired up when he signed there. But I'm still intrigued.
We'll get some leakings because I think front offices when they're in the battle, they almost like it as like tell the media to tell our fans like, hey, we were there, or hell, we even had the highest offer, but we didn't get them. You mentioned those San Francisco Giants, Tyler Mahle. You always get mad when I say Molly.
I think it's Mally.
That
it
might
rhymes
be
with rally. That's what his baseball reference page says. I'm gonna go check that again right now.
Might be a really nice signing for them, but I'm sorry, Amai's got
rhymes
the sex
with rally.
appeal.
It's Mally. Nobody ever says that, by the way.
Nobody says that because I think one year they did like a Molly thing, but I don't know.
You always say Papa Molly, I'm sweating. That's not right.
Yeah, that was back in my show days. I've been out of the game there a little bit. Shout out Rez. Let's talk Houston, man, because that is where I think things get really fun because you started laying it out, and I started leaking into it. Pena, Altuve, Correa, Paredes, Christian Walker, Yainer Diaz. Like those are six guys that I feel like if you saw them at the All-Star game, you're like, yeah, okay, that guy can do that. And then where Houston's always Jordan and the injuries last year. Even when he did play, it wasn't exactly his level. I mean, an 800 OPS. For me, I just think we can get as analytical as we want about baseball, but there's a purity in that the sport was played for hundreds of years that some things need to ring true. Dude, you need lefties or switch hitters. Like, with how many bullpen arms are out there I don't care if you're a split-proof hitter. Like, if you're a righty that comes out of the bullpen and you're better against righties, you still feel better in that matchup. Or, like, the pitchability from hitter to hitter. I do get nervous with some of these guys' age. I hate to be age guy, but baseball's a long, grindy season with Walker, Altuve, Correa's injury history a little bit. That being said, like, this is a team you don't want to see on the other side of the field. I need to see one more arm in the rotation. And I'd love to see a lefty or switch hitting bat to break up this lineup.
Can Jesus Sanchez take a step forward? Like, great bat speed. The peripherals are never really there. Kind of a chase guy. Hasn't really put it together for maybe 1 year. Like you have that there. I don't know, man. I look at the names and I say this can be maybe not a top tier offense, but shit, maybe Jordan could make it that. Just him by himself, dude.
Yeah.
Like he's that good. He's a top 3 hitter in the game when he's healthy. So like I think we have to remember that he just wasn't there last year, and when he was there, he was banged up. So a fully healthy Jordan changes everything. I love me some Carlos Correa, third baseman Carlos Correa.
Right.
I don't know what he's got left. I saw him have really good days, and then I saw him have some really bad days in Minnesota. So they're intriguing. We talked about it, or at least I did. Like I think we'll see what we got with like Javier. We'll see what we got with McCullers. We'll see, like that's the back end of their rotation. I think that needs to get sorted out. Bullpen, I think, can be great. And then this offense, like there's potential there. I agree with you. Left-handed hitting, a left-handed hitter would be great for them, but also like play to your park. I mean, it's a tiny park, dude. Like down the lines, both sides, tiny. So like I get the matchups, I understand that, but I don't think this is as drastic of a need as maybe other or would be on a different team.
I get that part of it. I guess, when we're talking about Jesus Sanchez as the second lefty in the lineup, again, it doesn't have to necessarily be the impact guy, but if I could slot someone fifth or sixth just to break it up a little more, I don't know, something just inherently baseball wise feels better about that. And then, when you look at the rotation right now, you have to. Framber is still a free agent. He hasn't been really linked to Houston, but who knows? Again, like let's see what starts happening with some of these contracts, because we just saw what Imai signed for. That if the big contracts aren't out there, are we gonna see a ton of opt out? I don't know. We haven't seen a big contract in a little bit, but their current rotation sits as Hunter Brown, who broke out last year, Christian Javier, who only had 8 starts last year with coming off of injury. Lance McCullers had 13 starts, and he's got an injury history at this point. Now Imai slots in, and Burrows, who they got in that Pittsburgh trade, who I liked as a sneaky. We're going to look back at that in a couple years and be like, how did they get him?
I keep forgetting about that trade.
Dude, it feels like the pitcher version of William Contreras. It's like, wait, why were they even involved?
What about, Cam Smith came and lit the world on fire for like a month, didn't he?
And then he didn't.
He's 22 years old.
I know. That's another righty, by the way. Zach Cole came up and played really well for them, and he's a lefty. So, no, there's a lot of stuff there. I guess when I just look at the rotation, I see Javier with 8 starts last year, McCuller with 13 tough ones. I know Arrigetti's still around. Like, he's currently listed in AAA. Again, with every team, you'd love to see another starting pitcher. Maybe Houston still deserves credit there. They've got Blanco, Walter, and Wesneski on Tommy John, which is just a reminder to everyone what kind of pitching depth you need to get through a season. I don't know. I can't have, if I'm Houston or if I'm a Houston fan, I can't have it land here. And that being said, not to be too greedy, like I just need one more thing. I need one more something in the lineup or one more starter, and I'm feeling pretty damn good.
They've committed $18 million this offseason.
Right.
There's clearly more room to spend. You got, no Kyle Tucker anymore. Like there's room there. So Framber, whatever he was making, that's gone. So like I think there's room to go. And I agree with you. I think, you look for some sort of left-handed hitting, fine. You look for, another deal like this is, if you put another guy in the rotation for $18 million, that's a no-brainer. Who's still out there? Besides the big dogs. Zach Gallen's still out there. Like, Zach Gallen's,
I think they
offer him the same deal. Offer him the same deal.
They probably already have. Not to
maybe more AAV, but give them the opt-outs. Give them the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, let's do a little mini rundown, because this is also, a refresher for us at this point. Framber, Ranger, Chris Bassett.
Bassett, great. I did this whole thing with Chris Rose about like what the Mets should do next, and that was my thing. Was like, hey, you got all these guys kind of like, not saying prove it for Zach Gallen, but like he's not coming off a great year, so I think there's a discount there. Bassett, I think, is undervalued. Definitely a guy that you could slot into the back end of your rotation. There are these guys that are available. Not to mention, like you talked about, like, is there a reunion with Framber possible? I don't think so. It doesn't seem that way to me, but you never know. Ranger fits in as your left-handed replacement for him. Like, there are so many options left to go. And what are we going to say about the Houston Astros if they go sign one of those guys? I feel like all aboard, right?
Yeah, and I guess that's where I'm at. Like the way you stated it at the start, like how close they ended up to being in the mix of things when it kind of didn't feel that way, or doesn't feel that way right now. Knowing the injuries they went through, Jordan, Paredes, that yeah, it feels like they could potentially be a move away. And I guess that's where I just start getting. I mean, as you look at the free agent pitching, because we said, every team could still add a starter or two. Okay, you add, if JV wants to run it somewhere for a year, you slot that in for what it is. Nick Martinez, all right, he could fire off a season for you. Zach Littell threw a ton of innings last year. Like, it starts getting, for the amount of teams that need pitching, you start running out of arms.
Tatsuya Imai on baseball on Trade Rumors, they had a big free agent. I'm looking at who's left, basically. They projected 6 years, 150. So the market is that's okay.
Trev, I think the other conversation we have to have, besides me just yelling that we need more pitching, great, good analysis there. Dude, free agency's officially hit a weird spot that, between the rumors about, it feels like teams operate more worried about financial than the best product on the field. Okay, let's just do Belly and Tucker. I think teams think you can get 90 to 95% of Kyle Tucker in a given year out of Belly while committing half the money. So I think teams are looking to flush that out. But Belly's rep by Scott Boras, who currently sounds like he's asking for the moon, and good. That's the agent's job, right? Your guy, Scotty B, excuse me. That, like, this whole free agency, how much had we talked about, like, okay, is Bichette just a second baseman now? Does that affect his value? Like, the Kyle Tucker thing kind of being the lead dog when – Let's just be honest. Like, it's what we've talked about this whole time. He's got this Abe Lincoln MFer thing going on. Like, the stats and him doesn't necessarily scream 400 mil, but everything else kind of does. That with maybe also the CBA thing looming next year, this free agency has hit a full-blown, weird, not fun start from a fan perspective.
Dylan Cease gets 7 years, 210, so he's making 30 a year. So that's big.
Dylan cleaned up. He's the winner of free agency.
And that's the Blue Jays coming off a World Series. They have the ability to spend like that. So they go out and do it. They're not worried about the CBA. But then you got Murakami and you got Imai now signing for a lot less than the projections were out there. And you know what? Projections obviously can be wrong and it could just have totally missed the mark. But pretty much every single article that came out, every single projection out there for free agency had them making more and for longer. So there's an interesting case there. I do believe the CBA is affecting free agency. Obviously, teams are worried about TV contracts. They're worried about, if there is going to be a work stoppage. So I mean, is it in a weird spot? Maybe. Is it going to heat up any second? Possibly. We just got a pretty big deal on New Year's Day.
Yeah, and hey, again, maybe that will be the domino effect that this, and it's
Bregman,
where people talk.
Freaking Bichette, Framber, Ranger. There's a lot of guys out there that can really, really help ball clubs right now.
And that's where, I think there's a discussion. Schwarber did great. Pete Alonso did great.
Skubal is maybe holding up a lot of things too. The Tigers. Ketel Marte.
Well, and that's where, like, I don't know if
they had Murakami. 8 years, 180. He signed 2 years, 34.
That's where.
Who wrote this article? We got to talk to you.
No, come on, Trev. It's where we're going to look. where we're going to look back in a couple years at this free agency and being like, ooh, that was kind of icky. Or like the CBA is getting in the way of baseball decisions that if those guys are dudes, like those are two of the biggest value contracts that we've seen in a recent free agency, which I feel like I said that about Senga after he happened. Like, remember when Senga came over and it was like, oh, that's all right. Like with that contract, he might not be good. Senga's had two nasty seasons,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Like I guess I think Murakami. I think a there's definitely a chance for more growing pains where I think Amai, like, he should
It's
in
the show.
theory.
Everyone has a chance for growing pains, though. That's the thing, dude. Come on. It's the freaking
Right.
show.
But I guess for a pitcher, like Amai, we talked about the ball. He's going to come out and do his thing. That, like, I think Amai, as long as he's healthy, should be fine. Murakami, there's a huge gap of what that could look like.
I agree. Yeah, we always say that the metrics are there for a pitcher. The data is there for a pitcher. They can cross reference a little bit more. I understand that.
What else, big dog?
My head's kind of spinning now. Like I haven't looked at the free agent like big board in 10 to 12 days, and there's still a lot of guys out there. And again, I mentioned Scoobs and Marte like kind of on the trade block. Hazen has said they're not going to like do that all off season, so I'm sure he's kind of like maybe fielding some final offers. Maybe and that and like just simple stuff like that can be holding up a lot of different teams. A team that's after Ketel Marte is probably not going to sign Alex Bregman right now or Bo Bichette right now because hey, we could do this and that contract's a little bit more favorable. So it just takes one little domino to fall, and then they all go. And hopefully we get that. Hopefully we get that. I hate when it kind of runs into spring training, and not only for a fan base's sake, but if you're a player and you don't sign till late in the free agency, it stinks, man. You don't know where you're going to be. It becomes difficult to get housing in spring training. If I only got there once, coach, sign early, guys. Just sign early.
Trev, I think they want to. I forget. I think it was your guy Giolito was on a podcast, and he was like, "It's been quiet."
Yeah, he's out there.
And again, like Giolito should be a free agency that I feel like teams should be
He
excited
should be
for.
a Houston Astro.
He has the upside to give you an amazing season. That yeah, man. The C word. If you don't know, it's late enough in the episode, and our MLB overlords aren't tuning in. Collusion. That I don't know. I'm obviously not saying that's happening.
God, dude.
What?
I had
You
another
thought it was
C
the
word in
other
mind.
C word?
Yeah.
Oh. That's for our British
I
program.
was gonna say, yeah, that's for Peter Moylan.
They just let that ride, huh?
Yeah. Who cares?
Should
Words
we
are
not
words.
care? All right, then you
Words
just
are
say
just
one and we'll
vibration
go.
that your tongue manipulates. That's it.
Now we are talking. Yeah, hey, maybe Amai's one of the dominoes that as he's off the board, the pitching options get limited, that the trade market open. But you're right, dude. Like what? Again, this is should be like a Dalton or Rob question because our brains sometimes get lost. What have the biggest trades been?
Oh God, you put me on the spot
I know.
right now. It's
I know.
ridiculous. I mean,
Well, no.
it's the 3-team trade. Brandon Lau going to Pittsburgh and bringing over Burrows. That was a big one. What else happened?
Let's see. Wilson Contreras to the Red Sox.
Wilson Contreras to the Red Sox. That one was completely out of my mind. Love that. Forgot about that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of Scooble, Marte, Freddie Peralta, and that hasn't happened.
Yeah, that was fun for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to big market people, but like the Yanks and Mets have to do a lot of work, right? You'd think that I don't know. I guess I won't do that to people because there's still a lot of action that's got to go down. That I just wonder, is it gonna get ugly, man? Like we should be, like you said, normally around this time we would be doing like how many teams does it feel like we can look at their roster and we're like, let's go? Like even with Houston, we were just like, you got more, right? Like I feel like we did this with Baltimore. Like Baltimore could run it out there tomorrow and feel really good about where they're at.
They've had a great offseason.
They've had a great offseason. That I don't know how many other. Obviously, the Dodgers could roll that team out there at any point. The Braves, maybe. I remember looking at their lineup and being like, okay.
We're
But
back
I
on the
feel like
over with the Braves. There's no doubt about that. Shane Baz goes to the Orioles as a trade. Jeff McNeil went to the A's. Those are some trades. The A's have just such a fun lineup. Zero pitching.
they really do.
Yeah.
I guess this is a long ramble for us. Where's Gino Suarez going? That was 50 tankers. Like, come on. Hopefully the dominoes start falling. Maybe we're gonna have to start recording a lot of stuff, Coach Trev. If I get to see you. Are we doing New Year's resolutions?
Oh yeah, so maybe you can hold me accountable to this. Like I look pretty good right now, like body wise, like I'm fine. But I'm turning 40 June 15th, middle, guys. Always remember that. My resolution, I told Liv, I think I'm gonna try to get some sort of a workout every single day. And obviously I can't like go to the gym every day. That just doesn't work with my schedule, especially during baseball season. But I think I'm gonna set like some sort of minimum like push up, squat, something, ab stuff and try to do it. Because I want to be, this seems so stupid and so cliche, which is fine. I want to look great when I turn 40.
Right.
It's just going to be a goal.
Yeah. You
Is that
don't
okay?
have to talk down on that. Yeah.
I feel like I'm already like a pretty nice person. I'm a good husband, good father. So, maybe I'll treat you a little bit better.
Okay. I don't.
You?
Our guy Coach Ballgame. Like, I think he just works out every day, and LL Coach Ballgame. Ladies love Coach Ballgame.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
And
See,
he's
I'm super.
yoked.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Okay.
This is why I got inspired. All right. Two guys. So I'm looking at right now. I got a little man crush on. Okay. Oh, maybe three. I think you got three. You're not in it. You're not in it. Chris Hemsworth is doing that like Limitless show. I follow him on Instagram. He took his shirt off. He's Thor. The guy that just married is engaged to Dua Lipa. It's kind of a stud. He's like this British actor. He was in this like, show that I watched. Yeah. Saw
Is
him.
he yoked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's this country singer that's going around. I forget his freaking name right now. Oh, it's same name as it's Riley Green. Same name as the baseball player. He's hitting homers at like all these parks when he goes on tour. He's jacked too. He wears these tight shirts with his big old. I'm getting inspired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look
I don't
out,
know.
Jake.
Throw a couple dumbbells in the garage or something, like some push-ups, some curlies.
I'm a kettlebell guy.
Nice. I'm just trying to get off the phone more.
Okay.
That I guess that's going to be the overarching thing.
That's tough for like you and your job.
Right. But it's also like if I'm with people, I'm not like an on my phone person. But if I'm hanging out with people, that sometimes leads to drinking. So I'm also trying to limit that. So
yeah, that's a good goal.
Know what someone threw out there that I was like, ooh, that's good. They were like, go see movies in theaters. And I was like, ooh, like that's,
I'm in on that, but there's got to be good movies.
Yes, but I don't know, like that, for me to be like, you know what, I am going to start reading. And it's like, okay, like, let's see what happens there. Like, but to actually go to a movie and it's like, okay, you're watching a film, you're taking something in, you're not on your phone for like 2 hours, no questions. Like that is a very easy step to get to the end goal that I'm just trying to think of creative solutions to get there.
I like the book thing. I started reading our kids The Fellowship of the Ring, bedtime story. It's very wordy, obviously, and it's long. I think they enjoy it. They might not. They might just like me in their room reading, no matter what it is.
Right.
But I wanted to give a shout out to our social media president, whatever she is, Taylor Jackson. She read like 85 books this year.
Yeah. No, she like that? Yeah, I don't know. Like, and I'm never gonna be there.
Would definitely reading?
Like. I think I want to start reading before I go to bed, but it's just a weird like. Should I be doing like self-help stuff? Should I be reading like boring Civil War stuff? Like which route do you go?
I for a while I was doing that before bed. It puts you right to sleep. Like right to sleep. Instead of being on your phone, which sucks and actually keeps you awake, reading a book will put you right to sleep. I always went for some sort of like biography or some sort of like nonfiction, like I don't know. That was
Yeah.
better for me because if you get some of those better like stories, like that also can keep you up. You want to read the next chapter, all that stuff. So I would go with like a bio.
Yeah, or like how Rome was built or something like that.
I got a couple good recommendations for you.
Leave your book recommendations below. Let us know the next signing. What was that, Coach?
What?
I don't know. It looked like
I
you
love
had
everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a safe New Year. Worst case, we're back Monday. And then we're back on the twice-a-week grind. If any of the big boys signed, I mean, we're ready. Went live for Imai.
Jake sucks. Yeah, was he like not on the tier for live?
I mean, dude, people were projecting him to get $100 million.
I think I deserve more money. Start that up right